Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, please do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update this channel daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. This may be my favorite variant of the new for 2018 Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust. The domed bezel on the combination of Rolex Everose and 904L stainless steel. Rolex calls this red Rollosaur, but to be honest, I call it fetching, punchy, and spunky. It's the reference 126201, and I would say this is very much a two-tone for our times, not the Sun City retirement home South Beach Cadillac Cruise type of two-tone. This is two-tone with a little bit of a youthful attitude, a punch, and I would even say a wrist presence thanks to the combination of a sports-style oyster bracelet, two-toned composition, and dark ruthenium dial, such that I could almost see myself wearing this even in Philadelphia, and I'm not a two-tone guy. 16 centimeters circumference is my wrist, and the watch is 36 millimeters in diameter. Since 1945, in the first example, that has been the classical Datejust size. 1954, we marked the arrival of the Cyclops Eye, and the timepiece on my wrist represents a 2018 reimagining of the 36 millimeter Datejust. Most of the changes are in the case. We'll get to them in a moment. The width of the timepiece from lug to lug laterally is 20 millimeters, and from link to link across the wrist with the Oyster bracelet, 45.3 millimeters. The case is 43.5 lug to lug. Now, the timepiece does have a little bit of a substance to it because the combination of all solid links, solid end links, solid center links, and a machined clasp that is a rather complex machine internally. There's an articulated tab right here that acts as a switch. It has a beak, there's a horn inside the clasp. You close it. It's actually a locking system. It's not friction fit, and you can't simply pull it open. I'm really pulling it here. You must lift the articulated switch and disengage the lock. So sophisticated and secure. It's also nicely executed as Rolex polishes the internals of clasps on its premier models, and this watch is treated accordingly. You can see that there are a few different anchoring points inside the clasp. It's actually 3 different anchoring points, so you can change the stationing of the bracelet inside the clasp body, but then you also have Rolex 5mm easy links, so you can add or subtract the equivalent of one removable link. You can see all removable links fixed by screws, and the underside of the bracelet with plenty of gaps to avoid pinching skin, pulling hair, or trapping wrist heat. The case is simple, sensuous, and sexy. You can see it's even got a little bit of a slinky grace to it, and the way the light plays across it is something that will be alien forever to Supercase GMTs, Submariners, Sea Dwellers, and Explorer 2s. The break between the case flank, which is a handsome array of compound curves, and the lug hoods is sharply defined, which I appreciate. It gives the case band a little bit of a hardened masculinity to match the sensuous and somewhat feminine bosomy profile of the flanks and the dome-style bezel. Now, there are a few different bezels available. Normally, gold Rolex bezels are fluted, but you can see that the current generation of Datejust offers both. Now, your mileage may vary, but I actually prefer the coherence of this domed and rounded bezel on top of the rounded flank of the case. I feel it flows more organically from one to the other, top to bottom, and vice versa. Now, jumping into the dial, you can see that this watch is very much a sports watch, and a handsomely detailed one at that. You have a sunburst, which is dark rhodium per Rolex, so a much, much darker version of the metal deposit that decorates brass bridges and plates on Swiss movements. It's more like ruthenium in its color and tone, but it's explosive the way sunburst grain dials tend to be. All red gold applique indices, red gold hands at center, red gold 5-point Rolex coronet. The Cyclops Eye, as I noted, it's been with the model line since 1954, and it's going to be one of those decision points. Do you love it? Do you loathe it? Do you leave it? I actually happen to like the fact that it is highly legible, but just for comparative purpose, I'm going to show you what a Tudor without a Cyclops Eye looks like. That's what a Date looks like without a Cyclops Eye. That's with, again, your mileage, your opinion, your call, but I happen to enjoy the way it works from a functional standpoint. Inside the case, protected by a Rolex twin lock crown to 100 meters, it is a screw down, new Rolex caliber 3235, 70-hour power reserve, no longer 48, thanks to a reprofiled mainspring barrel that's thinner, allowing the mainspring to be larger. The train wheels have been reprofiled, and Rolex's answer to the Omega coaxial is the Chronergy escapement. Micrometrically etched, LIGA profiled components allow Rolex to recover about 30% of the frictional losses from its old-style Swiss lever. So it's a different way of looking at an escapement alternative than the coax, but it achieves many of the same ends, right down to precision and and extended power reserve. I'll also mention that everything you loved from the 3135 returns. It's a modern high-beat 28/8 beat rate, full balance bridge with a free-sprung index for shock resistance, overcoil hairspring to help the watch beat concentrically in any position with respect to gravity, that Breguet overcoil helping it earn its COSC Chronometer certificate. But the COSC certificate applies only to the bare movement. Rolex then cases the movement and retests the watch to its Superlative Chronometer standard, hence the nomenclature on the dial. And that is an attestation that the watch will run no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per day. Finally, there's a parachrom blue niobium zirconium blue oxidized alloy that makes up that hairspring that allows the watch to robustly resist magnetism. Quickset date, hacking seconds, 31 joules, all that you've come to know and love from Rolex manufactured movements in a lovable case for the 21st century. You can see this two-toner and make it yours on the watch box. Rolex Datejust 126201.